the cap and trade. How do you feel about the cap and trade, the so-called climate change?
Well, you're asking me what I would consider softballs. I do not believe that the American people, and particularly this time, the American people need anything which is going to raise their costs, raise their taxes, raise raise their obligations at a time when we're looking to grow the economy, spur the economy. I know that we have some climate change issues. I know that there is some concern throughout the United States, not just in the 3rd District, that we have to address. But I do not believe that cap and trade is one of the things that I will support, because I think that as we're looking, and I say this all the time, we're looking at our employers, we're looking at the economy, the one statement, we're looking to grow the economy, not grow the government. And the last thing you want to do is build more programs, more investigations, more things which are going to be a greater burden on American people. Well, thank you. That's the first time I've been asked about it. I will have as many as Mrs. Scott would like to have. I'm quite talkative, and I'm quite opinionated. Yes?
Why do you plan on immigrating?
Sir?
On immigration, what is your plan?
Well, once again, you're throwing your softball. And let me say that as an attorney, I've always believed in obeying the law. We have a law in the books which says that, and I'm an immigration lawyer. We have a law in the book that says you shall not come to this country illegally. You shall not, and I follow that law. I believe we should follow that law. I do not believe that people who are in the United States, and I'm pausing because I forgot to say, someone asked about my background. I speak fluent Spanish. Is anyone here who speaks Spanish? All right. Okay, well, I won't bore you with that. I taught myself. I studied French in school. I speak fluent Spanish. And let that word go out. So people say, hey, we don't really speak Spanish. He knows a couple words. No. I'm fluent in Spanish. All of my children speak Spanish. But that said, I do not believe that preference should be given to people simply because they're in the United States. I believe that employers who hire illegals, people we call it undocumented, should be fined, they should be punished. I believe that people in the United States should stand in line. My wife stood in line to come to the United States. And I think that people should stand in line. I do not believe that people say, well, what are we going to do with 12 million people? Well, I think we need to discuss that. Those are serious issues that we need to have. I was listening to, any of you know Luis, and I'm going to kill his name. I said I speak both times. I think it's Gutierrez. Gutierrez. Okay. Yes, I was listening to him the other day, and I thought I was listening to a Republican, because he actually said, I think that we should put employers in jail. I think employers should be fined. And he said a lot of the things that I personally agree with. I think our laws, if we're going to have laws on the books, they need to be followed. If we're not going to follow them, we should get rid of them. Now, as we all know, they're doing some things out in Arizona. And I think that we need to take a serious look at that. Because what people, including John McCain, what a lot of people are saying is that the federal government has failed in its own responsibility. And this is why Arizona is taking some of the measures that it's taking. Okay? Yes?
Would you be in favor of trying to repeal health care if you get enough majority in both houses, or would you just want to defund it?
I harken back to something, and maybe some of you may not agree with this question. I think there's a softball as well, but I harken back to something Obama said. Do we really want to repeal health care and tell those people who have pre-existing conditions that they're not going to be treated? I'm one of the people who think that health care, the system that we have, is wrong. I know we need healthcare reform. I am in favor of healthcare reform. I think the way we've gone about it is wrong. That said, as an attorney, I can tell you that there will be, it is a tough fight to repeal healthcare. It is an extremely tough fight. So tough that do we recognize that even if we were able to get it through Congress, that the president is going to veto it. You heard him challenge us, bring it on, that he's going to veto it, and then we have to go back with a supermajority. Is that realistic that we can get there? Even if you elect me to Congress, and you elect all the other nominees who are running against Democrats in Congress, will we have the supermajority to overcome the veto of health care? That is the question. Do we want... I can go on and on. How much money did the taxpayers pay for the debates that we watched nationally?
Too much.
How much money did we pay for that? And there were people, some of our own Republicans, who I happen to like, saying, we need to start all over and have the American people pay more money. No, I think we need to come up with commonsensical ways to deal with what we now have as a healthcare system. Yes, I won't dodge the part of the question that says, should we try to defund it? I think if we're going to defund that, we need to deal with those pre-existing disqualifications. I'm choosing. Let me pick someone right here in the back. This lady, excuse me for pointing.
When you get to Congress,
I love that way.
what will be your top 3 priorities? What will you give all your energy to?
And I kept saying softball, didn't I?
Mr. Congressman, may I interject something here? And I hope you understand, where we're at as far as within our campaign right now. We are coming out, and we haven't even finished up our convention as of yet. Right? We are working, and we're putting together. And hopefully, some of you here will join with us in our focus groups to be able to understand and feel what we're doing within this campaign. Because that's what it's about. It's about you. And it's about all of us together. Right? I like to say it, and if I mess Chuck up a little bit, Chuck is our face, he is our message, he's our person that's going to carry our message. Right? So we're developing those things. And some of the things that we may go forward through as far as the campaign is concerned may require him to look deep down inside his heart. So please understand we're developing, and it is a developmental stage, and it's by you that we're going to develop this. This is why we came here and we come in front of you, is to hear what you're looking for.
Well, hold on a second. If that's the case.
Wait. Let's not go down that road. Let me answer your question. He's been upset with me. Let me answer your question. What he said is perfectly right. Let's not debate that. Let's not spend all night talking about whether or not I should answer. You want to know what I think? I'll tell you what I think. I will also say this, and I didn't mean to insult the gentleman, but listen, you've come here to hear from me and what I think. And this is the gentleman in the back that asked me this question too. He said, in fact, Chuck, what were your 3 priorities? Right? And I think what Shauna just said, do we really want another congressman who comes to to Charles City County telling you what you should think? Do you really want someone coming here saying, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it regardless of what you think? I'm not going to dodge the question. I will answer the question. But I will tell you this, that it is my hope. He is right. We are developing and listening to him. I want to know what you think. We are traveling the district. I do want to know what you think. And I want to give you my views. I am not the type of person who's going to run for office, get elected, and then you're going to listen to me. It's not going to happen. That's not what I've done. That's not how my grandmother was raised. Now, let me get to your question. I think that we need to downsize the size of government. I think that we need to look at educational reform. I believe that our children are our future, and that if there is going to be a strength for tomorrow, it'll be found in them. I am one of the congressmen. I know you're not going to hear this from a Republican crowd. This is what I feel. He's right. We're developing these issues, and I'm going to go around. But I tell you, my mother and father were school teachers. I think teachers should be paid more. How many times have we heard teachers should be paid more? Where does the money come from? But I think those are the things that we should look at, because, and And when I was growing up, I didn't go to a lot of rock concerts, but just go to a rock concert. Look at our athletes. How much are they getting paid? And yet the people who taught them how to run, the people who taught them how to speak, the people who taught them how to establish that verb and that subject agreement are getting paid. So, and yet we all talk about our teachers should be paid more. These are the things I'm going to be looking at. My third area, I think, is to make sure that our nation is secure. And I don't say that in that particular order, but as a Marine, as a Navy JAG, as someone who understands the military law system, and certainly someone who's concerned about America, if you just look at what's happening right now in New York, if you look at what's happening throughout the world, I think that we need to make sure that our nation continues to be number one. And we're going to continue to be number one as long as we're concerned not just about protecting Americans at home, but protecting Americans abroad. And I have other issues too. You asked me for three, and on the cuff, those are the three I think about. I may catch it from this guy as I leave. I should have dodged the hardball. Yes.
Yes. Two questions. When you go to Congress...
Two questions or one?
Two.
All right.
Two questions. When you go to Congress, do you plan to become a member of the Black Caucus? The other question is, what do you think of impeaching the president?
I just have a knee-jerk reaction. I really don't think much of impeaching. I'm not so sure that I'm on that wavelength. I just honestly do not consider impeaching the president. I think he's done a lot of things which I would not do, and I think he's done a lot of things which the people that I would represent probably would not do. But I think it would be, on the information that I have right now, I think it would be not wise of me to even go near that question. On the first one, and I'm a lawyer, I should have remembered, but I forgot.
Black Caucus?
Black Caucus.
Plan to become a member of the Black Caucus? Black Communists, whatever.
I have not thought about becoming a member of the Black Caucus. I am not sure at this level how that would benefit the 3rd District. If I feel that being a member of that group would in some meaningful way benefit the 3rd District, I may consider that, but I'm not giving that any thought. And I'll say this to you. I was a chairman of the Virginia Beach Republican Party. I don't know how many of you have been to Virginia Beach. There have been many meetings. In fact, I'll tell you the story. I'm coming to one of the meetings that I'm heading up, and a reporter's there because we knew reporters were coming. And as I'm walking in, I'm one of the last people to walk in. She says, "How do you feel being the only African American?" I'm sorry, that's not what she said. She said, "Do you know there's only no? How do you feel that there's only one African American here?" And I squeezed. Exactly what I did. I looked around and said, I don't see it. And as soon as I said that, I knew she was talking about me. I did not run that type of committee. I did not run a white committee. I didn't run a black committee. I didn't run a Hispanic committee. I ran a Republican committee, and every one of the people, the senators, delegates, and Congressman Drake down there respected me for that. Now, whether I'm going to go and join a Black Caucus, I think I'll have to look at those. Look at that first, and I hope I've answered the question.
That's okay.
Yes.